What is going on, YouTube, Lamont at large? Today we are at the Rosedale Cemetery here in Ada, Oklahoma. Today's video is going to be slightly different. I've been wanting to do these types of videos for a while now. I just haven't got around to do it. And since I was in the area, I thought I would give you an update about a case, a video that I did about a case a couple of years back. It's involving a murder that happened about 5.5 miles away from this cemetery, and that murder involves a couple that nobody would have ever thought any kind of crime like that would have occurred between them, and that is Pastor David Evans and his wife Christy. So I'm not going to go over the entire story again because I pretty much already did an entire video. If you want to watch it, I'll put it in the link. Other than that, I'll break it down really quickly. So Pastor Evans and his wife, they were pastors at a church about, I don't know, maybe about 5 miles away from here. It was called the Free Will Baptist Church. I just drove by there not too long ago. And so during service, Pastor David would preach the good word of God. But behind closed doors, the pastor and his wife, they were also into other different kinds of extracurricular activities, the kinds that the church probably doesn't approve of, like, I don't know, fornication, coveting thy neighbor's wife, so forth and so on. Many, many sins. A lot of sins was going on with that couple. So basically, long story short is, the couple were swingers. Pastor Evans posted numerous ads on Craigslist looking for men to have a three-way with him and his wife. So one of the men that answered the call, answered the bell to fornicate with his wife was 26-year-old Khalil Square, this young gentleman right here. So apparently Khalil gave the goods to Christy a little too good, and they got a little too close for comfort, so to speak, and she actually slipped him her cell phone number and said, "Hey, your wrecking ball is fantastic, give me a holler." So when David went out to Mexico for some missionary work, Christy was at the home of the Evans doing some other kinds of missionary work with Mr. Square. And as they were sitting in bed, they were thinking how great it would be if they could both do what they were doing all the time, right, behind the pastor's back. So they formulated a plan to where she would have Khalil kill her husband. They would cash in on a $250,000 life insurance policy, and then they would spend the rest of their lives together. So March 21st, 2021, Khalil Mack parks his white Mustang in front of the house right here, and she lets him in the door, or she leaves the door unlocked or whatever. He goes in there and with a gun and just pops him right in the head, and then he takes off like a bat out of hell. She calls 911. She's pretending, "Oh my God, my husband's been killed, so forth and so on." By the time the police arrived, there was nothing they could do for Pastor Evans. He had been shot in the head. He had blood coming out of his nose and his mouth. There was no life-saving measures that they were going to do because they already knew he was dead. Fast forwarding, Christy now gets a little bit guilt. She has a little bit of guilt in her heart. You know what I mean? Because she got this guy to kill her husband. Now, he eventually confesses to the detectives. Maybe God touched her soul. Maybe God was touching something that Khalil couldn't reach. I don't know. She confesses to the murder. Now, they charge both Khalil and Christy with first-degree murder. Now, it comes out, of course, in court about the three-way sex. But also, come to find out that apparently, unbeknownst to me, while I made the video, Christy, according to court transcript, was going through a very hellish marriage with Pastor David there. She was emotionally, physically, financially abused by this man, according to her. And she basically said that Pastor David often would threaten her, if you don't sleep with other men so we could do a three-way sexcapade, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill your family, I'm gonna turn the gun on myself. A deranged lunatic is what she painted this guy to be like. She also said that he forced her, like she didn't want to do this. She didn't want to do the three-way thing. She thought it was, nasty or whatever. She said he made her sleep with 30 men. Now, I don't know about you. I think that's kind of a lot, but it's 2024. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's a low number nowadays. Who knows? So anyways, she also said that he would call her disgusting, vile names. He would call her ugly. He would call her fat. He would call her stupid. And he would call her a slut. And that was just on Valentine's Day. Now, ugly? No, I won't go there. Fat? Well, I have a weight problem too. So, yeah. A slut? Well, you did sleep with 30 other guys. I'll agree with him on that. So, she's painting her ex-husband as being this manipulative monster. Absolutely incredible. So, eventually, after she's done testifying, the jury deliberates, I think, for maybe one day. I think that's all they needed. And they found her guilty, of course, of the first-degree murder. Oh, and by the way, during the court trial, see, because Christy felt so horribly wrong about murdering her husband, she mailed Khalil a letter joking and bragging about the murder that they committed. Oh, and also in that letter, she was bragging to another inmate. I guess they share inmates or something like that. I mean, you share sex partners with your husband, you might as well share inmates too. She was bragging to Khalil and this other inmate about her sexual exploits, about how good she was in the sack. Now, looks can be deceiving. Maybe she's a firecracker in the sack. I kind of probably don't want to think about that, but hey, pros don't boast. I've always said that. Pros don't boast. So anyways, she's found guilty. Khalil's found guilty. So back in November of 2022, they're sentenced to life in prison. Now, they got life with the possibility of parole. So in Oklahoma, that pretty much means that you have to do 45 years in prison before you see parole. And in Oklahoma, you have to do about 85% of your time. So it looks like Christy won't be getting out of prison until she's well into her 80s. And Khalil Square, he won't be getting out until he's well into his 60s. Now, if this woman makes it to be 85 or 80 anything, God bless her, let her out of jail, I say. She served her time. This story was so, before I end the video, let me just say, this story, just the ridiculousness of it. And let's not forget, a man was murdered. I don't care if this guy liked to have three-way sex with his wife and another guy. That's their business. Whatever you do, whatever your sexuality is, keep that behind closed doors. Because me personally, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. However, it does make for great content. I ain't gonna lie. So, to paint this guy as this abusive monster. Now, don't get me wrong. They did have problems in their marriage. And right before the murder, there was talk of them having a divorce. Now, I'm not saying that, Pastor Evans 100% didn't do any of the stuff that she claims that he did. However, if you are such an abused victim of this sexual deviant, as she called him in court, calls him a sexual deviant or a sex addict, I should say, calls him a sex addict. Listen, you're more than able in your way to make your way out of the situation. She could have left if she wanted to. I mean, it's not like this couple was real rich and they had assets and farms and houses. Not that I know of anyways. Yeah, sure, it ain't gonna look good for the congregation. That's gonna have to change. But if you truly did not want to live out these sexual fantasies of Pastor Evans, then why did you go along with, 30 guys? I mean, listen, I'm not saying you're a slut. But I'm not saying that you're not a slut, is basically what I'm saying. So, I don't know. That guy, whatever he liked to do, that's on him. He's still a victim of murder. She's still an evil-hearted witch. Khalil Square, just a dummy, just a dumb killer, just a low IQ guy. I mean, seriously. Again, I ask you guys, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Is any person going to kill somebody over this? I mean, I don't know. Some stories that I read about this, when guys do dumb things and they kill over women, I can say like, okay, she's hot or whatever. Maybe I'm being, whatever. But I don't know. You got a young guy, he's in his 20s. And he's been to prison before, so he's a convicted felon, but he can still get past that. He can still change his life around. But his relationship self-worth is so low that he's going to kill a man and risk going to prison for the rest of his life for that woman. It just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe he really did love her. Maybe he really did care about her. I don't know. But to each their own. To each their own. So they're both in prison. I will be reaching out to both of them to see if they want to do any interviews with me. We'll see what they say. Maybe that'll be a future video. I'll let you guys, if it's a no, I'll let you guys know in a future video that they told me no. But yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm leaving town right now. I'm heading out of the cemetery. I came here with the intention on doing a video. However, I simply have so many videos to edit now. I just can't do any videos right now. I got a ton of videos. There's a lot of videos coming out for you guys in the future. Keep saying this before, trying to get back to uploading 4 videos a week, and I'm gonna do it. I just need to sit tight and just kind of get back to work, get back to editing. So I look forward to getting back to that level, and I will be back in the cemetery at a future date. A lot of graves here. It looks like there's probably at least 20,000 or so here. It's a good sized cemetery. So with that being said, live but not live, still alive by the grace of God. Lamont at large, I'm out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick video. Sorry if I bored you, if you fast forwarded through the video. I just thought that story is just so absolutely ridiculous. Catch up with you on the next one. Peace out.